All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to do number 7 now on the review. So number 7 has 4 parts. We'll do each one individually. So here are 2 triangles. The first question says, explain how you know the right triangles are similar. Remember, we talked about the different ways of finding similar triangles. One of them is by knowing that 2 of the angles on each of the triangles are congruent. If you notice right here, this angle and this angle have the same variable, which means that they are equal to each other. And these angles are both right angles, which means that this angle is congruent to this angle, and this right angle is congruent to this right angle. So how do we know? We know because there are 2 congruent angles in each triangle. Okay? All right, so part B says write a ratio that is equivalent to y over x. When we're looking at triangles that are similar, what we've been talking about with trig is that the sides are proportional when they are similar triangles. So if I look at y over x, if I take this y and divide by this x, I'm going to get some value. I don't know what the value is, but we don't need to know what the value is because this triangle has that exact same relationship because they're similar triangles. So y corresponds with r on this triangle, and x corresponds with q. So the ratio that's equivalent to y over x is going to be r over q, because those are the corresponding sides of the other triangle. Okay, and then which ratios of side lengths are equal to cosine of alpha? So we've got to look back at the triangle and figure out what is the cosine of alpha, and there should be 2 ratios because there's 2 different triangles. So cosine of alpha, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is going to be z, and it's also going to be s for the 2 different triangles. The opposite is r and y, and x is the adjacent, and q is the adjacent. So if I'm doing adjacent over hypotenuse, adjacent is x, hypotenuse is z for this first one. So one of the relationships is x over z. And then for this, it's q over s. So the 2 answers are x over z and q over s. All right, and then finally, if r over s is equal to 0.700, what is the measure of alpha? So this is where we're going to work backwards with sine, cosine, or tangent. We've got to figure out, first of all, which one we're going to use. So if this is the angle, r over s is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's going to be sine, but we don't know the angle. So when we don't know the angle, we've got to do the inverse of sine. So we're going to say the sine of -1 of some angle, alpha, is equal to 0.700. That's when we use our calculator. So then you get your calculator out, and you're going to use the, let me put that in the middle there. We're going to use the trig button still, but when we're trying to find the angle, we're going to use the inverse, and we set up sine, and it's 0.700. So then the angle is 44. So alpha, that angle is 44.4 degrees. And that's it.